everyone. Today I am here with my mate, WAR05. War, my main man. You might have known him as King Vegeta, but he's coming back with his own new YouTube channel here soon. But
Yes, sir.
today is a very special day because we are starting a podcast. This is what I like to call the Ghouls Graveyard Podcast, featuring your hosts, Chaotic Ghoul and War05. Say hello to the audience.
What's going on, audience? What's popping with you? Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, it's good to have everyone here who's going to end up tuning in. I appreciate the hell out of you. But without further ado, let's get into our first episode. Our first episode, we wanted to be a really entertaining one where we just stoke a bit of controversy amongst each other and amongst anyone who watches by doing what everyone loves, and that's giving anime hot takes. We're both big fans of anime. I'd say War is a much bigger fan than I am. He's seen a lot more anime than I have. He's seen like upwards of 1,000. I've only seen like 45, honestly. Um, but we're gonna give some hot takes. I'm sorry about like belching right in everyone's ear there. I'm drinking a shody pop,
Sody pop.
a soda pop. But we're gonna be giving some really cool hot takes about anime. If would you like to start us off, my man?
Um, I don't mind being second in line because you had hit me with some ideas prior that I think we should start off at because it's fresh in the mind.
Okay, then I'll start off, and I'm gonna start off really hot too. I'm gonna start with three kind of rapid fire. My first hot take is that my favorite mangaka and anime by proxy is Hunter x Hunter and uh, Yu Yu Hakusho by Yoshihiro Togashi, or as his fans call him, Togochi. Yeah, he never misses. Everything he's ever written is perfect. He's better than your favorite mangaka, Cope, and what I'm gonna say after that is Jujutsu Kaisen, which the author Gege Akutami has openly stated that he's very heavily influenced by the goat by Togochi. His main character, not his main character, but like his main hype character, fucking Gojo, is a fucking fraud. I hate him. There's nothing I like about him actually. Like aside from his abilities being kind of cool, there's nothing I like about him. And then um, literally, what is it like the joke Miwa? What's her name? Miwa? Yeah, like the one character who's like, oh yeah, she's so awful. The one whose like whole
Yeah,
ability is like her cursed sword technique, and it's like ass. And then that one girl's
yeah.
cursed ability is her one cursed bullet a day, and it's ass. Like they are both more interesting characters to me than Gojo ever was. Um, and to follow that up, even though this is like an anime hot take, I'm gonna make this like anime slash manga hot takes because I mostly read manga. I'm not gonna lie. I've kind of read ahead and I've mostly finished Jujutsu, and it falls off really fucking hard after this next arc that's in the middle of being animated right now. Um, like after this arc, it just gets fucking painful to watch because I'm sorry if you guys don't want to hear spoilers, but the Sukuna glaze gets so fucking ridiculous that it makes my fucking dick shrivel up and become a raisin, and it makes me never want to pick up the series again. Like not even the good part of the series being animated still makes me want to watch it because that's just like, oh, I already know it's gonna turn into a fucking liquid hot pile of mushy shit where Sukuna just makes everything suck. So,
Yeah.
what would you like to say on that? Because I know you're not necessarily a Gojo glazer, but you are a Gojo defender.
I not quite a defender, I'll say, because there are some glazers out there that are just like they're a little much to deal with, for lack of better terms. Because look, I'm a firm believer. Now, this is a debate within the community. It's not necessarily a hot take,
Yeah,
but I believe Gojo could take Goku to a degree.
bullshit. I mean, in the past, I've
Um,
had that same argument. I literally introduced that argument to you at one point. But reflecting on that take, I was a fucking stupid young kid, and I don't want to turn this into a power scaling debate because I truly do not care for power scaling. That is like my least favorite thing in anime and manga, especially when it comes to discussing it, is power scaling. But yeah, that's no, he could not.
Oh, look, there was specific word choice I used to a degree, right?
Mhm.
There's certain levels that Goku reaches where I firmly believe that he would just punch through infinity. Um,
Yeah, once Goku
certain
can use the
points, like I'll
Dragon
say,
Fist, he's
like
done.
I'll say Sand Saga is about where Gojo would cap, and
Yeah, that's being entirely realistic, but I'd have been like fair if you wanted to say like Super Saiyan or even Cell level Goku, like when he fights
may,
Cell.
maybe Frieza level Goku, just because that Goku is still prone to being like.
Yeah, I think
As
so.
much as V Goku was smarter than Super Goku, it's not just well, it's the same Goku. It's just it's a lot more brute force in Super than it is Z.
Yeah.
Um, Frieza Saga Goku might still fall victim to Gojo just because Purple is hacks and Infinity would still stump Goku. He wouldn't. I don't think he'd still have the strength to punch through it. But Cell Saga is seriously pushing it. Even like heart disease Goku, I think could punch through it.
Well, yeah, I don't know. But besides the power scaling, what was the point you were trying to make? I'm sorry.
My point is Gojo as a character is pretty shittily written. He just kind of exists to bridge the main character.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
Well, Gojo is what helped you. Like Gojo's who basically I can't really say taught. He put Yuji in a room, but he gave Yuji the necessary like facilities to gain a hold over cursed energy. He's the reason that Yuji didn't just get fucking executed. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean, Gojo did give him a chance, and I can say that Gojo like has a character outside of being this mega strong guy. Like he's really charming and entertaining, and he's funny, but he's also
Yeah.
like honestly, I don't care. Um, he's just so broken to a point where it kind of detracts from him actually having a character. Like that's the cool thing about Gojo is like there's so many characters where they're like, oh yeah, this is the generic strong guy, and his whole entire arc is he likes fighting and being strong. Like Kenpachi Zaraki comes to mind.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Meliora from Black Clover, like characters like that, right? Um,
Yeah.
and then uh, and then there's Gojo, and he's like really likable, and he's really funny, and he's like a really personable guy, and he's also fucking handsome as hell. He's so fucking pretty. But then it's like, oh yeah, I'm also the strongest guy. I'm also the best at everything. I'm also unbeatable in cursed combat. The only guy who ever beat me with a very, very specific plan that he laid out over months. And it's like, and then I trained for like fucking 10 years after that so that I'm constantly always using infinity so nothing can ever actually touch me. And it's like, dude, it's fucking lame. That's so fucking boring. Like,
Well,
basically, what
to
they
be
did is
fair,
they wrote him into being what's called a Gary Sue or a Mary Sue, and that's what like. A common character who gets accused of being a Mary Sue is Rey from Star Wars, and I can't. I'm not going to really weigh in on that right now because that's not what this episode's about. But I will say I can see the argument, but I'll also say that Mary Sue or Gary Sue just refers to a character, so usually a main character, who's just a perfect character. There's no flaw within their character, right? Gojo is a Gary fucking Stew. I don't give a shit about him. He's Gary. He's Gary. He's Gary fucking Satoru, bro. He's Satoru Gary. Like I don't care. Fucking get Gary off the screen.
uh, with Gojo, he's a bit of a rough spot, right? Because I like the character as a character, though his role in his anime is questionable. he specifically existed to bridge the gap for the main character, and
Yeah.
you can't have an anime where the main villain is taken out by a side character. So it makes sense, again, spoilers, that he loses to Sukuna. Um,
Yeah, I can see
however,
it completely.
they needed someone. They needed as much as I am a firm believer that Sukuna got like super mega glazed and
By his
all
own
this other
author, mind
shit.
you.
Um, a character needed to exist to show what Sukuna is capable of, and that character was Gojo.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see him as a narrative tool and how he works as a narrative tool. It's just I don't really care about him as a narrative tool. I would care about him a lot more if he wasn't just a narrative tool and if he had I don't know, if we relied a lot more on his character. Like the arc about him and Gato's past. I really like that arc. That's a great arc. That's the arc I like Gojo the most because even though he's busted,
Yeah,
he's like the least busted he's ever been.
I agree with that.
And
Plus, and getting introduced to Geto as a character is nice.
yeah, and like the reason I really like that arc has absolutely almost nothing to do with Gojo aside from his relationship to Geto. The reason I like that arc so much is because of Geto. And like
Uh,
you may disagree on this take, but I agree with the take that they're kind of gay for each other. So like I really like that arc and like from my perspective seeing their relationship romantically and as a friendship crumble, right? But
yeah,
it doesn't like I don't give a fuck about Gojo's side of that. I don't care about Gary. I don't give a shit. I'm like, oh man, Geto's like really gone off the fucking deep end. He even broke up with his boyfriend. That's sad, bro. And then Gary over here is like, my boyfriend's turning evil, and I'm like, get a fucking new one, Gary. Like, that's just my
well,
mentality.
shit, I saw it. I saw it as a bromance more than a romance.
I can take it as either. I take it as both. Honestly, I take it as like a bromance that became a romance because of their dynamic. But like, before, not getting too deep into the romantic like relation about the relationship between them, it's just like either way you decide to take it. Like, I don't care about how it's emotionally affecting Gojo in that situation. I genuinely do not have any emotions towards Gojo's side of that situation.
Yeah,
All of my emotions
and
are towards like, wow, Geto is changing. I've seen how good of a person he was, and then like I like that moment where like that girl he was protecting, the fucking star vessel got shot, and you just kind of see you could see the shift happen on his face right then and there before anything else even happened.
yeah,
Like that fucking gunshot didn't just kill that girl; it killed Geto too. That gunshot
yeah.
killed him too, and it's visible on screen, and I really like it, especially with how it was animated. Because I read
I
JJK Zero first.
I will say I like Geto as a character. I think he's great, but the only reason I enjoyed that arc is because of Toji. Um,
I
Call me
also really
basic if you will, but
also really liked Toji. I liked everyone in that arc who wasn't Gojo. If you want me to be
my
honest.
favorite character would because I personally haven't read the manga. I just know what happens,
Yeah.
right? Um, I Gojo was my favorite character in the beginning, and this was before I realized just kind of how bland of a character he actually is.
Yeah.
And I will say I can understand people sticking to their guns and trying to defend their favorite character.
Yeah.
But when that character has no like it has no baseline and then they try later on to give him a baseline and but then they focus heavily more on the side characters of that story, i.e. Toji and Geto,
Yeah. If they
it
wanted
just
that,
kind of puts Gojo in the background.
yeah. I feel like it's important in Geto's backstory. Even I can understand your perspective. They should have given Gojo more to do in his own backstory. But I also kind of like how it's presented because the way it's presented makes it seem like it's coming from Gojo, from Geto, from not from Geto, from Gojo's perspective. Like,
Yeah,
there's a reason he's kind of a background character in his own story, and that's because it's coming from his perspective.
I could see that. Um, but
That's also why the arc ends with him waking up and crying. It's because he was dreaming about all of it. He was remembering it. That's why he wasn't seeing himself being a badass all that much. It was like a background thought. The most important thing was like all the traumatic shit that happened during that time period, like Haibara dying and Gato's like mental decline.
yeah, um, I will say my JJK hot take, and I'll probably get a lot of shit for this, maybe even from you. Sukuna is a horrible villain.
No, no, I agree. I think he has like an effective I think he's effective as an antagonist in that he's a pure evil antagonist, and I think that works. But I also don't think it works when you make him just so overpowered that no one can realistically really do anything against him.
Yeah, like
And it's even more
like I said,
bullshit because I know that like JJK has always been a dark series, but like the way they decide to end it and like I don't mind when a lot of main characters die in the series, and this is also getting into spoiler territory, but a lot of named important-ish characters die. Um,
yeah,
I'm not
I
gonna
don't
say I'm not
know
gonna say
everyone
who
who
or where.
dies,
I'm not gonna
but
say who or when, but I'm just gonna say that happens, and I don't have an issue with that or who went necessarily. But I have an issue with the fact that it ends up being like pretty much most of the main cast and most of the side characters, and it's just like, oh
yeah,
yeah, just realistically, you had to because Sukuna was so strong, and it's like, yeah, that gives like a level of weight and depth and importance to this fight, but it's also like dude, Sukuna's doing this all by himself. He's
yeah.
doing this all
See,
by himself. He's fighting the four strongest sorcerers in the world, the four special class sorcerers, and Gojo, who's the world's strongest, and the main character, and all the A class here, all the A class sorcerers who are like really young, and all the other A class sorcerers who we've been introduced to over the course of the series, and all the B class, and all the other like characters who are introduced who are sorcerers. Like everyone shows up basically, and it's like, oh yeah, and he basically just mows through over 50% of them, and it's like understandable, but Jesus fucking Christ, cool. I hope you
like,
didn't like over half of the cast. Like, there's
well,
nothing
I
wrong
don't
with having
mind
a dark
stories
story.
like that.
Yeah, I like when stories get darker, but I also don't like it when it's just like, oh yeah, literally everyone dies. The end. It's like
Yeah, so
anticlimactic. It's like that one fucking. It's like the story of the ugly barnacle, and then everyone died. The end. Like, dude, that's not
yeah,
entertaining. It doesn't matter what everything was before that, and then everyone died. The end. So everyone died. That was all
my
pointless.
like with stories like that, it can be good. There's things like
There's
sorry, I
things
was getting a phone
there's things
call.
there's things like Attack on
Um,
Titan that have a lot of character deaths, especially in the end.
yeah, but I was gonna bring up one specifically. I don't know if you've seen it, but I'm sure I know a lot of people have. There's an anime called Akame ga Kill,
I
right?
know of it. I know the general
So
plot is everyone dies. I've seen
yeah,
clips.
literally everyone dies, but the way that story works and the way it plays out, it makes sense and it's good. Like literally the main character dies before the story's over.
Yeah. What do you call it? Uh,
And
so is Future Diary. I watched Future Diary as well. That was like
that's a
I,
great show.
I kind of want to rewatch that because I heard people say it was kind of stinky poo poos, and maybe I had like young teenage boy. I wish I had a girl who fawned over me like and who was crazy kind of like mentality. Because
I mean,
what is
I
it?
was
One
like
of my friends who was like a mega weeb back then. I don't know if you know him. I'm not gonna like fucking drop his full legal name and address, so we're just gonna call him by his nickname, Coke. So Coke, what do you call it? Coke was super into anime, and I used to go to Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments with him back when I used to go before. I used, long story short, I used to go to tournaments in high school. I stopped for a long time. I just recently started going with my roommate again. When I used to go with Coke, and he got me into Future Diary. and he gave me an actual rule I follow to this day with anime. And he's like, if you don't like something within the first 5 episodes, just stop watching it.
I
And
give three.
yeah, he was like, just stop watching it. And I was like, okay, great idea. And then he was like, here, try this anime. It's like it's Future Diary, and it's like I really like it. And he was like, oh yeah, and you know, Gasai is like a dream babe, dude. You gotta watch it. And I watched it, and I didn't quite agree with him, but I could see the appeal, and I watched the show. And like I was a teenager at the time, so before anyone goes up in the comments being like, "You're a weird creepo creeping on like a middle school age girl," like, dude, I was fucking like 2 years older than her at the time. It wasn't fucking weird. Um,
Yeah.
if even that, because middle school is different in Japan. So I think she could have also been 14, 15. So it doesn't matter. Whatever. Point is I wasn't being a creep like 20-year-old man lusting after high school girls, or middle school girls. Anyway, uh, I kind of didn't get, I kind of got the appeal and I watched it. And like, I think most of what I really liked about it is like, what sticks out to me most to this day is that Future Diary is just utterly fucking insane. And it's like a
Yeah.
murder fest. And like it's mostly driven by Yuno just being like, I'm so in love with my Yuki, and then she'll murder somebody just because she fucking loves this scrawny dork so much.
I
Um, and
I
I
will
and
say I
like,
watched that show when I was 19 and I still enjoyed it. I really like the psychological aspect of it, and that's why I'll defend it to this day.
I mean, there were psychological aspects to different characters, but I don't feel like they were very well explored ultimately. Because like each other diary user really only got maybe 2 episodes if they were a more important one. Otherwise, they got like one.
Yeah.
And let me also put it to you like this: if you were watching that show and like a diary user came up that you didn't really like, you were just kind of stuck, man. And you were like, man, I'm stuck watching this asshole until this arc's over. Like, I didn't really like the fucking dude with the dogs who was like one of Yuno's, not Yuki's friends from school.
Yeah.
And like it was the fucking dude with the, yeah, it was her dad, and he had all the dogs, and like he just ended up letting them kill him because why not, basically.
Yeah.
And then like their friend didn't even care that and Yuki murdered her dad or anything. Like it was just so fucking weird, and it was just like, yep, this happened because this happened. Why not? Like there's no like, as much as you're saying, oh yeah, it had so much psychological stuff going on. There's never like anything with that girl where she was like, you killed my daddy, or where she was like fucking mentally broken by being caught in the middle of this fucking cell phone diary god game or anything. Like she just kind of it just kind of rolls off her back. She's like, oh yeah, my dad fucking died.
Well, I didn't care for Gasai, and I definitely didn't care much for the main character. I paid more attention to the side characters, and I pieced their parts together.
Yeah, no, like number 9, the girl with the eye patch, and the dude
Yeah.
who the blind dude who had like the Sentai theme going on, who
Yeah.
inexplicably had like shadow clones of himself. Um, he was cool. Also, I really like his part of the series, and then also the fucking almost completely blind girl who has the fucking scroll diary that's and the cult in that same arc. That's all really interesting, but like almost every, and then also the couple is pretty good, but every other diary user, I'm not gonna lie, I genuinely don't give a fuck about. And then I tried rewatching it. I rewatched it with my on again, off again ex fiance recently. Not recently, but when we were together, we watched it again. And that was the most recent time I watched it. So I was like 20 the last time I watched it. And we didn't even end up finishing it because we both kind of agreed it was cringe.
It can
Uh,
definitely be cringe at times.
no, no, we got to like episode 14 and like stopped.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just actually remembered. No, that show's like total cringe. You shouldn't watch it at all because like there's a scene in the end where fucking Gasai and Yuki have sex and they're like both 14, bro. That show's cracked, dude.
I forgot about that.
I just remembered that because we were talking about it. I just remembered that at the end they have sex in a fucking hobo barrel. That's so funny to say out loud, but like basically the whole world's ending because of the main plot of the show, and like it's disintegrating like Thanos style slow, but like their part of the world isn't disintegrating because they have the diary still. And then Yuno's like, let's take a bath together. And then they take a bath together, but instead of like getting in a tub or in a hot spring or anything like that, they get in like a big fucking steel drum and like light it over a fire and like basically make a Yuno and Yuki soup, and then they like do the nasty after. It's
Yeah.
crazy, dude. They do the nasty after like immediately after that scene, and it's like the most awkward, gross thing ever. Like reflecting on it, I didn't even get to that part when I rewatched it with her. We got to like episode 14, which is around where what do you call it? It's around where that one what was it? There is this also really hard to get through part where like Yuno and Yuki have like drama between them because Yuki's like, I'm sick of you just trying to murder people because they like me. And then like Yuno goes, "Ah!" Like literally she like does like a fucking demon banshee screech. And like and then Yuki's like, I'm gonna go with my friends now, and you're gonna sit here and think about how you're a murder hobo. Like the show's fucking cringe and bad now that I think about it. Honestly, it's really bad.
Like I said, I haven't watched it since I watched it the first time when I was like 19, and
Yeah,
I
that
paid
was
more attention to the side characters and the main characters.
yeah,
So
not to like call us both washed up and old, but that was like if you were 19, I was 18. That means that was fuck, dude, 7 years ago. So yeah, the last time you watched that show was 7 years ago. Last time I watched it was like regrettably five, so it's a bit more fresh in my memory. But the reason I remembered that scene is because I remembered getting to the end of the show and being like, what the fuck is even happening anymore? And I was like 15, 14 at the time, and like that's when you're like in your prime horny gooner phase, and like I wasn't even like, oh yeah, I'm like started stroking or anything. I wasn't even like worked up by that. I was just like, wow, this shit is fucking weird.
yeah,
And it's mostly because that's another thing, since we're on the topic of hot takes. Another hot take. I fucking hate fan service in anime and like any sense really. Like whether it's like male or female fan service. And I'm a bisexual dude. I just don't like it. It's just so fucking annoying. Especially what really irks me is like if it's like an etchy show or like a fan servicey show like from the jump. Like if it's a slice of life show, I don't really care if it's fan servicey all that much because like there's no real plot that we're breaking away from for you to do this, right?
yeah,
The problem is when it's like a shonen type series and they like break away to be like big booming bazoinger boobies.
yeah.
Don't you got a boner, buddy? And then it's like, I love getting a
That actually,
boner.
so you pretty much just opened up my hot take with that. Not that I don't mind. I don't mind some fan service, like you said. But a perfect example, High School DxD.
I never
That
watched it
show
just because I knew about it, just because I knew about how bad it
that
was.
show could be so much better if every like 10 minutes there wasn't a bare pair of tits on the screen. Like the main character's like, oh, boobies, and then goes Super Saiyan 3 and wins the fight. Like,
Oh my god. There's only one show that has like egregious fan service, and I'm like, this is the best show ever, and that's Space Dandy. And that's because like the fan service is literally integral. Like part of the show is just that Dandy is a fucking like space cowboy sleazebag who goes to space
yeah.
school. That's an essential part of the show. So like in the final episode when he gets a boner and like unironically has one of the most badass anime mecha power-ups of all time, it's actually the greatest thing ever.
And then there's like shows like what's it called? Uh Darling in the Franks is really bad with it. Not that they show bare tits or anything, but the
So what?
drivers are basically having fucking sex to fight.
Yeah, no. What really gets me is not even that. The ones that really fucking irk and gross me out are the ones that are like, oh yeah, this is a child. Like I
Yeah.
cannot, as much as it like I've seen clips of it from like other angles of the show and it looks great from those angles. I cannot watch Dawn to Dawn because like 90% of it is like, hey, this is two 14-year olds and they're almost always in their underwear or fucking naked for no reason.
Yeah, because
Like,
Don to Don can be so. It's one of those shows. It can be so good, but like the first episode, you get full view of Momo and her fucking nighties, bro.
yeah, yeah, I know. I've seen that clip. That's like the one clip I've seen of the show in full. And I don't even know. I don't even remember how it came up. I think it's because like oh yeah, I know how it came up because I was on fucking shorts going through YouTube and people were like, Dawn to Dawn is so crazy. And someone posted a short of like the aliens molesting Momo and I was like, dude, why the fuck do people watch this shit? And it's like also
Yeah,
like it was also my least favorite aspect. You know, I really liked Demon Slayer for a period. Like you and I even went and being like martial artists and sword play experts ourselves, like went and learned the styles that like inspired those fighting techniques, right?
yeah,
So I'd say it influenced us a decent amount, but like, bro, my least favorite aspect of that show is how they were like, "Oh yeah, isn't it so hot that Nezuko is like 14 and then sometimes she turns into a big hot 19-year-old with big fucking boobies, and then sometimes she becomes an extra little girl." Oh, and I'm like, "Oh my god, dog, get
yeah.
fucked." How about like, you know, you get euthanized, maybe?
I also don't like that Mitsuri, one of the most like reserved characters, is walking around with her tits basically out.
Yeah, I mean, I know that she's like the love Hashira, and like an aspect of her character is that she has a crush on everyone, but like another aspect of her character is that she's like really reserved and shy about it. So I don't understand why like she has the boob pocket design. I
Yeah,
feel like you could keep like the more busty, like lustful appearance about her because she's the love Hashira, but you don't have to make her like outfit so like skimpy.
yeah.
And I
And
know
like,
that
here's another thing that they keep doing, and oh, this isn't really an anime, but I took notice of this recently. Adventure Time has had quite a few spin-offs. One perfect example is Fiona and Cake. And I told my brother, I said, "Oh, I kind of want to watch this because I got to see older Finn, right? I get to see grown Finn with the Jake tattoo on his chest." I was
yeah.
like, "That's so fucking cool. I want to see that." And I'm watching this like slice of life of Fiona, and she's like, bro, she's a thick blonde now. And I'm like, the last time I saw this girl, she was fucking 14 and wearing clothes. What the fuck is going on? The episode started with her in her underwear and she's a drunk. Like, what? I thought I was looking at Chelsea. Like,
Yeah, no, the
they keep over fetishizing, I can't say that word right, these characters, and they'll make them like abundantly thick so that the viewers will remain viewers and be like, oh, that's so fucking hot, I want to fucking stick my nose between Mitsuri's ass cheeks. Like,
I mean, I can't lie. I'm one of those guys when I see like a big pair of ass cheeks like that. But
well, yeah, me too, but it's like, dude, I'm watching this show, Demon Slayer, perfect example. I'm watching the show for the plot and the fights,
yeah,
not the thighs and the tits.
yeah. That's honestly
Like,
one of
one of
my
the hottest
favorite.
characters in that show to me is Shinobu, and that's because of how she carries herself.
I was about to say that. I was gonna say I find Shinobu the most attractive, and it has like nothing to do with her physicality, even though she is like pretty physically like up there. You know, like she's got a.
Yeah,
But like the reason I like Shinobu is because of her character arc and like how she carries herself, and I don't know. I notice a lot of the time I've been attracted to girls, and you can back me up because you've been my friend for like 10 plus years. That you notice I kind of end up dating girls who kind of have like a Raven-esque personality.
yeah.
Either in
You
the
know, our era of cartoons. We were influenced very heavily to like goth girls.
yeah, nah, we were like brain controlled to like goth girls. I don't know who did it, bro.
I don't know,
I don't know who did
fucking.
it, bro. Who did it, bro?
Because
Turning the
I
fucking
was
lost
definitely, as a
robot.
kid, bro, I was definitely down bad for Raven more than Starfire.
Oh yeah, no. As a kid, I was more down bad for Starfire. Actually, I thought they were both bad, but I was more down bad for Starfire simply because of her personality and kind of like her ditziness. And
I
I
never
think
liked the
I think
bubbly
Starfire.
ditziness.
I think no, but like Starfire and Raven like perfectly. describe my taste in women because I have like I'm equally very very attracted to like goth kind of gloom and doom aesthetic, and then I'm also just very attracted to girls who are like very bubbly and sweet and kind of innocent like Starfire,
Yeah.
and also really weird because Starfire is really weird.
Well,
So
yeah, she's also an alien, so it makes sense.
but that's like my point. I like girls who are like, oh my god, this girl's like so weird. Is she even a fucking person? Is she like from another planet? Is this person even a human being? You know, kind of thing. We've all
Yeah.
met people like that where you're just like, is this person even a person? Like they act so fucking weird. To me, that's like unironically a turn on. So, and I think it's mostly because of Starfire, because it's like, oh wow, she looks just like a person, but she's fucking orange and is like, I has to goes to the bathroom now. Where is the bathroom? Is
I'd
this
like
the
to
school?
partake in the breakfast with you.
Is this the school shooting I hear so much about on the news? Like that kind of shit. Like that's just like kind of examples, but you know what I'm saying? Like just kind of this weird ditzy little creature.
Yeah.
Strange ditzy
No,
little
but
creature that has my heart.
no. Another perfect example of overly fan service anime, like there's anime that very heavily walk along the border of hentai, and a perfect example is Sister New Devil. Like every second episode, they're having sex.
Nah, for me, the worst is fucking Shigeki no Soma, fucking Food Wars.
Food
Adam,
Wars pisses me off because
Adam was
I
watching that
I
shit.
love cooking.
Adam was watching that shit when we were still in high school, in the room with me. And anytime that shit would come on, I'd literally leave the room.
Yeah, but
If
like
I was hanging out in the living room with him and like writing or like playing a game on my phone or whatever, playing my DS even because I had one back then, doing whatever. If he like turned on that piece of shit anime, I would literally go in our room. If we were in our room and he was watching that piece of shit anime, I would go in the living room. Like, dude, I cannot stand it. It was so garbage. It was just like, yes, look at this delicious lasagna I'm making you. Yamade, lasagna desu. And then she takes a bite and starts getting fucked in the ass by a big old fucking hunky piece of lasagna. She's like, I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? Whose idea was this? And who was like, yeah, let's animate this and sell it. Get your new
yeah, no.
Shogeki no Soma t-shirt.
And I'm about to awaken a fandom here that honestly is probably going to hate me for saying this. There's a specific show that was based off of a game in Japan, and I'm sure you know where I'm going by saying that.
I have a
Um,
feeling. I have two.
it's called Nekopara.
I actually have no idea what the fuck you just talked about. I thought you were gonna bring up Danganronpa or fucking what do you call it? I thought
I've
you were gonna.
never watched or read Danganronpa or played. I don't give a fuck about that game. Anyways,
I like it. I like Danganronpa.
um,
But the I was also going to say the what do you call it? It's like Porden's favorite game. I can't remember the name of it.
but
The one with Joker.
Nekopara is a hentai game in Japan, and they turned it into a one season anime.
Oh my god.
And I have had the mispleasure of running into it scrolling through Reddit. Now, I let me be clear. I use Reddit for video games. It is actually how I met someone that I play games
One,
have played games with for the past year
one second
for
before
Elden
you
Ring.
continue. I don't mean to interrupt too heavy, but when you said "let me be clear," it made me imagine you as like Obama. Let me be clear. I am
Let me
only
be
using
clear.
I am only using Reddit.com to get friends for gaming and to get tips for gaming. I have not been on there looking at porn. I haven't been touching my old willy. Okay, but
Yeah.
continue.
Uh,
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, I've had the mispleasure of running into that, and me and my curiosity kind of killed me that day. So it is a game about cat people, as you know, what the Neckos are. They are literally people with cat-like features, right? Um, and the main characters range anywhere between 12 and 16.
What the fuck,
Yeah, bro.
dog? What the fuck?
And and it's a hentai game. turned into an anime
Bro.
that people fucking fawn over. So the picture I ran into were these very obvious, very obvious underage fucking characters in their fucking underwear, and I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at? And I went into the comments, and then there was someone arguing about age, and they're like, well, if you put it into cat ears, and I'm like, but they're people.
Dog, I would have special beam canon to that guy. Like I would have looked like Glep in that Smiling Friends animation, and they would have been looking like they would have been looking like Mr. Raditz really quick.
Yeah, bro, but
I would have had to ask you to be
I would have
fucking
held them
Choku
like my
for
name's
me.
fucking Choku.
I would have needed you, Choku. I'd have been like Jigga, and then I would have fucking special beam cannon.
I'd have
You would
fucking
have
let myself die to take that motherfucker out.
nah, bro.
Anyways,
You would have had to do the fucking like little mini game and had to fucking line them up for me.
but anyways, yeah, and that's just the perfect example. God, look, I like what I like, but I have a border that I do not cross, right?
Yeah.
And that is like on the other side of the continent past the border. You see what I'm saying? Like that is so out of pocket, and I think
Bro,
that series, that game, that fandom needs to fucking kill itself.
dog,
And
this man
that's not to
said,
say
I
that
have
there
a
isn't a
border you
wholesome
don't
part of the
cross.
community,
He said, I have
but
a border you don't. I got to put this in context for everyone who's going to be viewing at home. I just took a huge hit of my pen, and then this man, I got a border you don't, I got a line you don't cross. They're on the other side of the country, across the border from the line you don't cross. That took me out.
like dog, I gave you the age range, right? Like,
Yeah, no, no, I completely understand why. They're completely on the
and
from my line you don't cross to.
yeah,
They're completely on the other side of the country too. But Jesus fucking Christ, saying that out of the blue right after I took a fucking puff of my pen is crazy.
but it's so out of pocket. And like I said, I don't wish harm upon anybody, but the Necroparo fandom should kill itself.
No, I don't wish harm upon. I wouldn't say I don't wish harm upon anybody. If you're a Nazi supporting motherfucker, I hope you do either kill yourself or make yourself known expeditiously. But otherwise, I hope everyone can just get along and honestly live the best life possible. But if you're one of those motherfuckers too, who's like in the Necopara fandom, it sounds like I honestly want to like shoot a fucking missile out of my wrist just to kill you. I want to fucking fire a chain out of my wrist like Scorpion, get over here, and rip you over and just finisher you. Like you have problems, bro. What the fuck? Same thing with the motherfuckers who are like, well, actually, Lolita characters are like maybe appear to be children, but they're like usually very, very advanced age. They're even older than your granny. And then
That's
when I
that's
hear that,
another that's another thing. Fucking
yeah,
Lolita characters, bro. Why are all of them like fucking 1,000+ years
dude, the
old,
reason
but they're
they're a
fucking
thousand plus
12?
years old, air quotes, is so people, so all the people who are into that shit can make the argument. Well, the character is better than a billion, so because they're a billion years old, I'm a pedophile. Okay, they're older than my mother. They're older than my grandmother. Realistically, they probably shook hands with my great 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 grandpappy in the Stone Age. So I'm not a pedophile. Like that's their whole argument, dude.
Yeah,
It's a flimsy argument and it falls apart immediately, but that's their argument.
it's disgusting.
It is disgusting, which is hilarious because, like, I'm just going to take a quick moment because, like, I've made some political content recently, and some people who aren't even subscribed to me, by the way, or have been really, really upset about it, have been hate watching me since then. So I wanted to take a moment to just say, just a reminder: Donald Trump did ride on Jeffrey Epstein's plane. Do you remember what that plane was called, Earl?
I don't remember what that plane was called, but there's videos of him on Epstein Island. So
No, it's not. Well, you're right about that, but let me tell you the name of his plane. You want to know the name of Jeffrey Epstein's plane?
uh,
Unironically, it was the Lolita Express. Jeffrey Epstein named his plane. Jeffrey Epstein himself named his plane the Lolita Express. So
What a
if
guy.
you're one of those people who's like, I gotta be the millions of years old making the shut up. You would have been on the Diddy
Uh,
files. You would have been on the fucking Lolita Express. Shut up.
are
You
you
would have
kidding me, bro? Epstein is Diddy's fuck. Diddy is Epstein's predecessor, bro.
dude, no, he's not. Diddy, you got that backwards. Epstein
Or,
is the Archduke of fucking Lolitism, if you want to call it that. His disciple was Diddy and Trump,
yeah.
and then everyone who else who's roped in on the list is their disciples, the Diddy disciples, if you will.
Like I will, I don't know who is innocent, but there's definitely some people that were innocent there.
No, there's like, I doubt that.
Uh,
I highly doubt that. Even if you didn't partake in the crazy sex parties going on at Diddy,
because
or even if
there's
you did
quite a
not,
few.
if you did not participate in the Diddy parties or the Epstein parties, if you will, either one, even if you were air quotes at Epstein Island for the snorkeling, you had to have known what the fuck was happening.
There's a few Hollywood big shots that have been coming out talking about how I only went to this Diddy party one time and I saw how fucking sketch it was and I left, right?
Yeah,
And those are the people I'm talking about.
yeah, I,
You can't just what they're trying to do is like pull up the guest list and then fucking incriminate everybody. I'm like, you can't do that.
yeah. You can't pull up the guest list and be like, oh yeah. I don't not saying that this person was, but you can't be like, oh yeah, Ariana Grande went to a Diddy party in 2014 when she was 14. That implicates her. Like you couldn't do that. It'd be like, well, obviously, if you look at it like that, it's a lot like it sounds a lot more like the Justin situation now, doesn't it? So,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what they're gonna try and do probably. But also, like for example, there are people I know who did go to like Diddy's parties a lot. One of them, for example, someone who's linked to two convicted pedophiles, Donald Trump. Donald
yeah.
Trump in an interview, not in an interview, in an episode of his TV show, The Fucking Apprentice, a girl was visibly uncomfortable talking about Diddy, and he was like, "Oh, you know Diddy?" She's like, "I used to work for Diddy," and she said it like really, really disgusted like, and he was like, "Oh, I love Diddy." So like Trump himself on his show, The Apprentice, confirmed that he's a Diddy disciple and that he went to the Diddy parties and that he
Bro, he's
loves
probably
Diddy.
like the fucking like you have the master of the dojo and then you have like not like a second master. There's like a rank that I just for the life of me
Yeah,
can't remember, but
it's like their student, like they're a student, the successor to the dojo, basically.
pretty much, yeah, that
Yeah.
that was Trump.
Trump. I don't think Trump was the successor to the dojo. I think Diddy was the successor. And like Trump would just come in and be like, "Ah, Padawan Diddy, so good." And Diddy would be like, "Sensei Trump," and he would fucking like bow to him and shit.
Sensei Trump, my master.
He's like, "I have loved your work, Diddy. I've loved you ever since you smoked Biggie for me." Be okay?
Yeah, okay.
And then he was just like, he was too close to unearthing the secret, our master. I had to do it. Yeah, I know, I know. Anyway, I'm gonna go get back to getting on the Lolita Express. You okay? Then he fucking fucks off. Anyway,
I'm gonna go grab a big
we've
red
gotten
ticket.
really far off topic. We've spent like the last like 4 minutes talking about how Trump and Epstein and Diddy are pedophiles, which is true, but we're off topic a little bit,
Yeah.
just a little bit.
Anyways, anime hot takes. Yeah, I don't know.
Do you have another one?
Necropotla
Because if
can kill
not,
itself. Hunter. High school DxD could be good if boobs weren't on the screen every 10 minutes. Shit like Sister New Devil, where they're literally fucking, and then there's one other one that's not coming to mind where it's like they go dungeon crawling, but he buys a slave that's a dog girl that he fucking fucks every day.
that
Like
sounds
it's
utterly insane, bro.
yeah,
That's
and
the crazy thing I've ever
it's
heard.
ridiculous, bro. Like fan service is out of hand. And I
Definitely.
don't mind it because, not saying I fucking joke my shorts to fucking
Shelk your short.
drawings, but dude, it's disappointing. It's disappointing where it's going. And I understand that's not like, it's technically not America's fault. That's Japan, but dude,
Better America. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. No,
yeah.
I'm gonna let's we've gone over our disdain for etchy content as it's called in like Lolita content specifically in anime. Do you have any other hot takes you want to hit us with? Because we're getting close to our time. We have like 10 minutes here.
Uh,
10 minutes, 20 minutes.
off the dome
Because if you don't got
anime
something
hot
right
take.
off if you don't got something off the dome, I got something off the dome. It's not a hot take, but I know it's something we could talk about expeditiously until the end of time.
What's up?
SAO and the initial reaction to it and where it is now.
Oh, okay. So
So
I am
yeah,
an end season SAO defender, so I got you.
you're an end. Okay, yeah. Let me start here. I am a thorough SAO hater. When I was really young, when the series first came out, it didn't first come out this year. This is when I first saw it. When it first got popular, it was 2015. I watched all of what was out for SAO, and I gotta say, when I first watched it, episode 1 through 12 I thought was like the best thing, was like the best ever. I was like, I wish I could get stuck in a VR video game where I have to fight with a sword for my life forever. Because my dear friend WAR05 and I are both actually like IRL martial artists and sword fighters. We've been doing it both since we were very young. In my case, since I
Yeah.
was I don't know how old he was when he started fighting, but in my case, I started Taekwondo training when I was 3 and just went up from there. But so to me, it was like the coolest shit ever, and especially because I like video games. I was like, oh yeah, this is the best thing ever. And then the second season happened, like Alfheim Online happened, and I was like, this is the fucking worst thing ever. And then Gun
Yeah.
Gale Online happened, and I was like, this is the even worstest thing ever. I will never give this show a single chance ever again. And like, I don't know how, like, the last season ended with like gross tentacle porn and like themes of a grown man going after a minor, and that was thoroughly disturbing and gross. And somehow Gun Gale Online disturbed me even more, and it had no themes like that, from what I remember. But I was like, wow,
No,
even more.
I don't know how Gun Gale disturbed you even more, but I
I'm not
will
being
say,
literal. I'm not being hyper literal. I'm being a little bit hyperbolic and being like, oh yeah, it was so fucking bad it disturbed me even more. But it was just terrible. It
yeah.
was genuinely worse.
I will say I kind of got tired of fucking every season giving Kirito a new girl to for them to fawn for some a new girl to fawn over him.
Yeah, it was a new girl
Um,
every season to fawn over him, and before that, during even original SAO, every other episode, not even every episode up until he married Asuna, a different girl was fawning over him. First, it was like that one girl who fucking died, and then it was
yeah,
that one like half Lolita girl who was a blacksmith who made his blue sword, and then it was some other girl, um, and then it was some other girl, and then it was Asuna,
and
and
Asuna didn't even really, it's kind of why I enjoy their dynamic because Asuna didn't really fawn over him. She just was a normal person about it.
yeah, no, she was a normal person about it, and like they gradually fell in love. But like what I hated about it is like when I rewatched it, and this is why I say I'm a thorough hater. I rewatched season one because I was like, at least I can like have comfort in season one, and then I rewatched season one and I realized how fucking thoroughly shit it is too. Like it
Yeah,
fundamentally does not work as a video game SAO. Like if you know anything about video games, which I don't even know the most about video games, but I just know that a video game like SAO fundamentally would not work like if all you have to rely on is sword skills, like you're all melee build. There's no magic. What are you actually doing? You're just gonna get like different skills that do like different combos that do different amounts of physical damage. Unless you make it so
yeah.
that they do like enhanced elemental damage. with effects, and then that would technically be magic, and it's just focused on physical. So like you're kind of halfwaying it at that point. So like Sword Art just doesn't work like that. And then it's also like all the menus in Sword Art are just like so unequivocally bad by a game design standard. They're just terrible. Like everything is a menu with a sub menu, and gamers fucking hate that. Everything's
Yeah.
a menu with like 10 different sub menus. Like, dude, yeah, no. SAO would fucking suck if you got stuck in there. If I got stuck in SAO, I think the worst I would probably die, and it's not because I'm bad at swordplay. The reason I would probably die is because I'd get stuck killing myself in one of the menus. Because I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh fuck, how do I rotate my weapons? How do I switch gear? And then someone would come up on me and it would take me way too long to fucking close out my menus.
Yeah.
Because there's fucking 12 of them. The other thing that gets me,
Um,
like, what I was getting at right there is what gets me with Asuna and why I hate her is like they set her up so well, and they're like, oh yeah, she's this really competent female character who's like on the same level as Kirito. She's competent. She's a strong swordsman. She's relatively the same level. If they were to fight, she could actually do something to him. Like in an episode, like just 1 or 2 episodes prior, we watched him fucking get run up on by 20 like level 30 characters, and they couldn't even damage him before he regenerated the health they damaged. Right. So
yeah.
Asuka could actually fuck him up. Right. But we never see that. Instead, we get like an arc of them solving a murder, and we never get to see Asuna actually fight. She just kind of like talks with Kirito and barks at people and acts all important. And then and then once they're actually married and once they're actually together, she stops having any presence and any thought of like, oh yeah, she was a badass. Like any scene of her being a badass before and after that is like is immediately capped off with her needing to be saved by Kirito.
Yeah, like the anime, like literally the first episode, like first or second episode of the anime is them side by side taking out the floor boss
Oh yeah.
and her keeping up with him.
Oh, perfectly. That's exactly my point. She perfectly keeps up
Yeah.
with him. And then they set up her being basically on his level, if not higher. And she's like how he and that this is the other thing because I'm a huge Berserk fan. Him having the name the Black Swordsman, it's like, oh yeah, she's also on his level because she has like a title as well. Like she's such a legendary character that people have given her a nickname to, and that's like the Lightning Flash.
Yeah.
It was like something relating to lightning. It was like Lightning Flash or something.
Yeah, there's literally Lightning Flash Asuna.
Yeah, so you have the Black Swordsman Kirito and Lightning Flash Asuna, and it's like, okay, so they're both explicitly around the same level. They're both explicitly, what do you call it? I'm gonna step outside everyone for this last little bit of the podcast. Um, but they're explicitly the same level. They're explicitly like both characters who are so fucking aura farmed in their verse that they have earned nicknames and titles. Asuna is
And
also like
everybody knows
second.
those titles.
Asuna is also second in command of the literal biggest guild of the entire series up to that point in that game, being the
Yeah.
Order of the Blood, like the Knights of the Blood Oath or whatever. She's the second strongest member behind the fucking founder.
And that's just because the founder is literally the game dev.
Yeah, and he's cheating, which you also find out later. But at that point, you don't know that. But like, Akahiko, the only reason she's second is because the fucking boss is Akahibo Kayaba.
Yeah.
Akahibo Kayaba is also a huge fucking cheater. Like, dude, it's just so bad. There's so much more about the first season that also sucks. Like the whole entire their AI daughter subplot was fucking stupid. I don't care what anyone says. That was dumb as shit.
Yeah.
It was bad, and it was like, oh yeah, we basically see them like air quotes bond with this AI for 4 minutes, and we're supposed to give a fuck when it air quotes dies. And then it comes back in every single season after that as an AI companion in every other game he's in. Like I don't even remember his stupid AI daughter's name, but she just fucking goes to every other game he's in somehow. Oh shit. Sorry, we had a connection issue there,
Oh,
everyone. In real time.
yeah.
And
You were saying?
yeah, I think the last thing I was saying is that in every single And every single game he goes to after shit ass Sword Art Online, he somehow manages to bring his stupid AI daughter with him.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember
Um,
his name, but I just remember his fucking. I honest to God hate Bryce Papenbrook, the voice actor for Kirito, because of like after he voiced Kirito, they just gave that man a voice performance in literally everything. And honestly, he's not a terrible voice actor, but he's just so oversaturated at this point. I can't stand hearing his voice. And it's
yeah.
mostly with Kirito too. Like I actually really like him and think he really fits his role as Eren Yeager, but I think Kirito when he plays Kirito, it just makes me cringe.
Look, my issue with Papenbrook is every time he plays another character, I just hear Kirito.
Well, yeah, that's because Kirito specifically Kirito and Eren Yeager are just Bryce Papenbrook talking.
Yeah.
Specifically, those
It's
two
also
voices are
like
just him
very
talking.
adamant when they scream.
Yeah, when he screams, his voice is very adamant too. But like, that's the thing is like Vice. Bryce Papenbrook has such a definitive voice that you can't really cast him in anything without you immediately hearing him and immediately being
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, that's Bryce Papenbrook." It's the same thing with
Yeah.
Johnny Young Bosch, but it's less. But like, I unironically love Johnny Young Bosch.
Yeah.
Like, I've loved him since he was the fucking green and black Power Ranger in the OG Power Rangers.
It's facts.
Yeah, bro, he was goaded, and then he's just like, "Oh yeah, now I'm gonna play Nero and Ichigo and then he also played Dante, young Dante, in the new Devil May Cry anime. So he's just like constantly adding to his repertoire of voices too. He's fucking
Which
great.
as much as
Anytime
I
like
love
it's
him, I
like
think
here's the difference is when I hear Johnny Young Bosch voicing someone, I get hype. I'm like, oh yeah, Johnny Bosch. But when I hear Vice Rappenbrook, I just am like, ugh, I'm gonna stick to the sub.
no, as much as I love Johnny, especially as Nero,
Yeah.
I fucking hate that he voiced Dante in that series.
Really?
Yeah. As much justice as he did, and I will 100% say that he did that role justice, he did very well.
Yeah, I mean, he's
I
played
just,
alongside Dante and is an actual fan of the series.
yeah, I just, it's Nero, bro. Like, I'm watching Dante sound like Nero, get frame shots where he looks like Nero, and I'm like, this is Dante. What the fuck is going on?
I think like the point of them doing that is them kind of emphasizing like how much the Sons of Sparta look alike. Because like the moment near like Virgil doesn't have his hair slicked back, he looks identical to Dante.
Yeah, but they're twins.
Yeah, but okay, biological twins, and then one of those twins has a brother. That brother's gonna like genetically be Dante's son, basically.
Yeah, no, I understand that. It's just with the specific frame I'm thinking of, they literally did specific cell shading and coloring to make it look like Nero's jacket and sword.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what they did about that. I haven't seen the series yet. I don't own Netflix.
I will say, if you get the chance, watch it. It is good. It's not the normal story, but it is good for what it is.
Well, yeah, it's Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
How does it compare
Um.
to the original Devil May Cry anime? Because there was the original one.
Well, the original tied together some of the games. I'm a fan of the original, but I will say this one holds a candlelight to its own degree. Right? It's not something. You shouldn't go in comparing the two. That's how I feel.
I understand. Man, I'm
Um.
kidding.
Anyways, back to Sao. Um. All of that beginning was utter trash, but as I said, I'm an end of series defender because once you get into the what's it called, Alicization, that part of the show I think is great because they literally remove all of the fucking females that fawn over Kirito. They get rid of the disgusting fan service, and then they give Kirito a best friend who's literally the antithesis to himself. He's not some edge lord. He's some shy blonde kid hacking away at a tree that he meets and shows him the world. They literally become best friends. They go to college together. Like, I'm making it sound like a slice of life, but it's still Sao.
Yeah. So it's
Um,
more of like it's more like a dark fantasy about poor kids I saw the first episode. It was more like a dark fantasy about poor kids like rising up and getting an education and also trying to, if I'm not mistaken, rescue their friend.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
it
that's a
unironically
lot.
has great writing.
I didn't give it a chance. I did watch the first episode with you, and the first episode, nothing egregious happened, but I didn't give it a chance because I was like, this is still SAO. I don't think I even would give it a chance. I trust your opinion. Like, I trust your opinion above, like, anyone else's almost on anime and on series like that. Because we have a very similar taste when it comes to what we're looking for in a movie or an anime or a TV show, right? But
Yeah,
yeah, no, I don't think you could convince me or pay me to give a fuck about SAO in any regard.
I get that.
I guess the only way you
Um,
could pay me the only way you could pay me to give a fuck about SAO is if you literally paid me. Like if the creator of SAO and like the anime studio behind it paid me and they were like, "We want you, random critic on the internet, to uh make the new SAO TV show." And at that point, I would have to give a fuck about SAO, but otherwise, I wouldn't give a shit about it ever in the history of ever.
which is respectable. But like I said, some of my favorite characters of that show come from Alicization.
Here's my biggest problem, right? There's this archetype that people assign to characters, and it really pisses me off because it's like a power scalar retard fucking goo brain thing that they came up with anyway. It's the potential man thing. But you know who's honest to god a potential man, and I think he deserves a title more than anyone who's quote unquote a potential man?
Uh,
Klein from SAO. I
I can
loved him.
agree.
I loved him from his introduction because of his like personality and his like potential. Like I was like, oh wow, he's like this newbie player, and then every time we see Klein throughout the series, he has a cooler and cooler and more like intricate design, and it makes it look like he's getting stronger and stronger as the series goes on. But you never get to see anything that Klein's capable of. But it's mentioned at the end of the series that he's like the head of his own guild and he's like level 60. So it's like, oh,
Yeah,
Klein's like not a fucking fraud, but he's
he's
not as
literally
strong.
right behind Kirito.
Yeah, he's like literally right behind Kirito. Kirito at that point in the series, he's like, "Oh, I'm level 83. I'm so fucking tough." And then Klein's like, "I'm in the 60s. I'm in the late 60s." So he's like pushing level 70, and it's like, yeah, Klein's no one to scoff at, but we never see him fight. The only time we ever see him do anything is like he uses one sword skill on like a no-name jobber, and all that happens is his sword flashes red and he slashes him once and goes, "Yeah!" And
Yeah,
then Kirito walks up and he goes, "Klein, is that you?" And then he's like, "Kirito, my friend, so good to see you." And then after that, he never does anything ever again, ever. And before that, he
yeah,
never did anything ever aside from kill a fucking boar. But in the first episode, they literally spend the entire episode just setting up him and Kirito being friends, and Kirito teaching him the basics of the game. And they're like, "Yeah, well,
yeah,
fuck him. Hope you never liked him." And Klein's like so endearing, so it sounds like the new character, like the blonde boy from Alicization, is like what Klein should have been. I don't know. Maybe that's a series you and I could do, since I wanted to do like anime what ifs. Maybe you and I could do a what if SAO wasn't Garboder,
yeah.
where you and I confidently write Klein and Asuna and make it so that not every girl sees Kirito and goes, ah, starts gobbling on his meat.
Yeah, bro. You know what? I'm kind of here for that.
That would actually be cool. Everyone who gets to this point in the podcast, because we're going to end off around here, leave a comment saying sword art rewrite win if you actually want us to do that. But anyway, I think
Yeah,
that's a good stopping point, my brother. You got any final
I can
words to the
agree.
fans at home?
Um, Necoparo fandom, kill yourselves. Uh, you know what? That's where I'm. That's gonna be my final words. Necoparo fandom, kill yourselves.
All right, my final words are going to be Gojo Glazers, get laid. All right, everyone, bye bye.
Bye bye.